Coming to you from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and airing on WCPT 820 Chicago's Progressive Talk. Welcome back to the Gailey Show. I'm John Parker. It is 33 minutes after the hour. He's the award-winning author of more than 100 books, comics, and graphic novels and memoirs, including Free Lunch, Abuela Don't Forget Me, and reimaginings of the classics, like with Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy, and Dan in Green Gables. He's also written and edited comics at Marvel and DC Comics. On November 11th, he publishes a new trade paperback of Peacemaker Presents the Vigilante double feature. The collection is also authored by Tim Seeley and features illustrations by Matteo Loli and Mitch Gerrits. Rex Ogle, welcome back to the Gailey Show.
What up? How y'all doing?
Well, it's also Banned Books Week, and I realized as I was driving into the studio today, I'm like, I think we had Rex last year for Banned Books Week, and you're just going to be our Banned Books Week correspondent.
I love that. 100%. I am down.
All right. Well, so speaking of banned books, so new this year, I was pulling up some stats here. Trump signed 3 executive orders that were then used by the Department of Defense to pull nearly 600 books from schools on military bases, while simultaneously, the U.S. Department of Education said book bans are a hoax and axed a federal position that was investigating them throughout the country. Within the past year, the states Utah and South Carolina created state-mandated, quote, no read, end quote, lists of books. In the previous school year, 2024-2025, according to PEN America, nearly 4,000 books were banned. And of course, they just always happen to be books by Black, Indigenous, and people of color, as well as queer authors. It's just, go figure that it's always us that are on those lists.
Gross.
Rex, talk to us about what you are doing this year around promoting awareness and helping to stop these book bans.
So, I'm trying to. Here's the thing. I'm not going to say who, but there was a wonderful, lovely organization that sent me 2 years ago to speak about banned books. And I got on a plane. I went to Salt Lake City, ? I don't know. I book travel brain is, yeah. Anyways, I got there and I was like, why did I come all the way out here to talk to people who are against banning books? Like, I want them to send me somewhere to talk to the people who are for banned books, because those are the people that we need to talk to. Like, I don't want to fight anyone. I actually want to sit down, maybe have a drink, and talk. Like, I want to understand why are you banning books? What is so wrong about reading books? I do not understand. It's so confusing. I grew up with it. Like, in middle school, I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. I went to my library and asked if they had a copy of the Quran, because I could not find it in the card catalog. And I was reported and called into the principal's office, where my parents and the police were waiting the next day, because they assumed I was a terrorist because I wanted to understand Islam. I was like, no, I'm just very curious, because I was doing research, and it turns out that Islam is one of the 3 Abrahamic religions, including Christianity and Judaism. So I'm trying to figure out why all of y'all hate each other. Yeah. Reading is so important for so many reasons, not just for those 80s rural kids like me who were trying to figure out where my place in the world was. I was gay, I was poor, I wanted to learn, and books were my way to learn, and I was turned away at times, which is gross.
Yeah, that's a disturbing story. I'm curious. So, in those conversations with folks, what are the responses that you're getting?
Here's the thing. I think it comes down to one thing, and maybe it's not. Maybe I'm being myopic, but I think adults want to ban books from kids because they do not want to have difficult conversations with them. Like, rather than talk about the Holocaust, let's get rid of Diary of Anne Frank. Rather than talk about Black queer people, let's get rid of course, my mind just blanked, but it's like the number 2 banned book in the country. Rather than talk about transgender people, let's get rid of Genderqueer by Maya Kobabe. Like, let's get rid of all the books that would engage us in conversations that we do not want to discuss with our kids. Like, that I think is at the heart of it, because they're not really going after books for adults. They're not saying like, let's pull these books from bookstores or Amazon. They're just going after books for kids.
You're reminding me of a story from earlier this year where Snoop Dogg was all up in arms because he went to see a Pixar movie or a Disney movie, and there were two moms in there, and one of his grandkids was like, how do two moms have a children? And he got all freaked out because he's like, I don't know what to say, and this is all screwed up. And I'm like, Snoop Dogg, the stuff that you rapped about in the 90s, like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me right now? You're scared of having this conversation? Like, you're scared? Like, I could pull up some lyrics here that
Yeah.
would be more scary to talk to your kids or your grandkids about than having to explain how, a kid can have two moms. Uh, it's bonkers to me.
It is, and I will try not to get on my soapbox, but here's the thing: is that coming where I came from, 80s rural Texas, I grew up around ignorant people all the time. My stepdad was like self-professed. He was like, I'm an ignorant man. I did not graduate high school. I have a very limited education. I do not read books because I do not know how to read.
Mhm.
He was very upfront about his ignorance. And the funny thing is, like, when he called me fruitcake or wetback, there was never any vitriol or poison in his voice. It was very matter of fact. It was often playful. Whereas my dad, who was a very educated man who went to college, considered himself more intelligent than most people, when he called me a fag, it was poison dripping out of his mouth. It was disgust. It was hate. It was, he's the one who booted me on. That's why I was homeless. Like, and at the end of the day, it's like, why do people not want to just have conversations? Like, I get it. You're passionate. You're angry. You're hooked on this idea that something is wrong because you don't understand it or it's outside of your comfort zone. Have a conversation. It's so easy.
We're here with author Rex Ogle. His upcoming trade paperback of Peacemaker Presents the Vigilante Eagle double feature comes out on November 11th. We're going to be talking about that here in a minute. But you're a very prolific writer, right? Under
Can't
two
stop.
names. And so I imagine that you've had a book banned.
So unfortunately, I've only had one book banned and only in two states. Like, I just feel like they're not reading my books, or else they'd be banned more. Um, and ironically enough, it was one of my first books, or it was the first book under my pen name Ray Terciero. It was called Meg Jo Bethanemi. It was a modern day retelling of Little Women. Very vicious material, those Little Women. It was a mixed family, so the dad was black and the mom was white. And oh my God, Joe comes out, which it's like, if anyone has read any journals by Louisa May Alcott, they'll know that she was like, I don't identify with being a woman. I was born in the wrong body. I should have been a man. If you read her journals along with her books, like, it's not just that I'm assuming that there was queerness in her books. It's that she did not have the vocabulary to express her queerness at the time. It's the same with Great Gatsby. Everyone is like, oh my gosh, it's a great American novel. And I was like, I 100% agree. And Nick Carraway was completely in love with Gatsby, who is in love with what's her name. But the thing is that F. Scott Fitzgerald loved to dress up and drag and hang out with the dudes. And his wife, Zelda Fitzgerald, was like, wrote it all the time to her friends in journals and letters like, I wish my husband would stop putting on dresses. And I'm like, ooh, Zelda was not down. I got you. Like, that's fair. But I love that this is required high school reading, that it's not banned, because people don't know that if Scott Gerald may have been on the queer spectrum. And it's so funny that there's these huge literary figures that are required high school reading. Meanwhile, we're banning books because people are a little more out and proud in 2025.
Mm-hmm. We discovered the world discovered, not us here exclusively on the Gailey Show, that Pixar recently straight washed their film Elio. That originally Elio was supposed to be a gay kid, and that was denoted by having a poster on his wall. And the Pixar execs got all freaked out about it. They said no. The director departed the project. America. Um, was gonna say America Chavez.
Marvel Comics.
Not America Ferrera departed the project in protest over the firing of the director. And where I'm going with that is that because you have a very unique experience having, YA author, middle school author, but also with DC and Marvel. I'm curious, if we see companies like Pixar shying away from queer content right now, have you seen that in Marvel and DC?
I would actually say it's the opposite. Like if you look at DC Comics right now, ooh, I mean, Superman's son is gay. Tim Drake is bisexual. There is so much queer culture going on at DC that I'm actually like, I don't know. Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman all have queer characters in their lives. I was like, I want to see the statistics on this. Like, is this accurate? And here's the thing: I am all for queerness. I just don't want to overdo it in the sense like, yes, we need queer characters, but I also don't want queer characters to become these stereotypes that are
Mm.
because in my opinion, and to be fair, I have not read any of these DC comic stories. I have not read the comics, so I cannot speak to them. But what I can speak to is the ones that I have read, and I will not name which ones. I mean, they're so one note. They're so like, I'm gay and I'm gonna walk in a parade and I'm a drag queen and I'm just like, what about just like a normal kid who's like grows up on a farm? And like maybe that's me being like, I think that we contain multitudes and I don't want gay characters being pigeonholed as like they were in the 90s. Like I grew up with Will and Grace, and I did not like Will and Grace because I was like I was super glad it existed, but it did not represent me. Like I wanted a show about a comic book nerd who was gay. Like being gay is like one of the least interesting things about me. I worked at Marvel and DC. Such a nerd. Like I can talk about X-Men comics all day. Like to me, that's like my bread and butter. But I like dudes. And so there's
Gayest thing about Will and Grace was Karen.
and so yeah, I don't know. I worry, and also because there's a lot of straight people writing queer characters, and I'm kind of like, don't do it if you're going to make us a stereotype. Like, let's maybe get, gay people contain multitudes too.
Well, speaking of comics, you have a new one, trade paperback, coming out this November, and a certain James Gunn was a story consultant.
Yeah. So, so this started like 2 years ago after when I think Peacemaker 1 had just come out Peacemaker season 1 on HBO Max. And I started talking with an editor at DC. I was like, I loved it. John Cena's so hot. I was like, I would love to write a Peacemaker story. And they're like, let's do a web comic. Well, then James Gunn he had to approve it because he loves Peacemaker. And then he took over as the head of the DC cinematic universe. And then he was like, well, I want to do a story. We were like, what? So then, of course, it became a print book, and it was just 5 issues. I did 10 pages. He did 10 pages in conjunction with Tim Seeley. And so, yeah, I will say this. Despite what I just said about making too many characters queer, he had already made Peacemaker very bisexual in the movie. Or, sorry, he indicated. There was an indication, and then there were some indications in the show. So when I wrote the comic, I leaned into it and had a great time. So it's very queer, despite what I was saying 5 minutes ago.
Well, as queer people, we get to do whatever we want. So that's the new rule now in 2025. It's literally anything we want. We are owed that. We are here with Rex Ogle. His upcoming trade paperback of Peacemaker presents the Vigilante / Eagly double feature will come out on November 11th. We're going to have more with Rex after this commercial break. Keep the conversation going on our Blue Sky. If you are on Blue Sky, we're at thegayleyshow.org for more queer, progressive news and analysis. You should also sign up for AM950 Radio's newsletter for more from The Gayley Show and all of AM950's shows. Go to am950radio.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click sign up. You're listening to The Gayley Show. More after this break. Daily Show. I'm John Parker. We're coming up on the top of the hour. Rex Ogle is the author of over 100 books. He's been an editor and writer at Marvel Comics and DC Comics. Also, doing a little research, according to his website, he's hiked the Kearsarge Pass in the Inyo National Forest and the Sierras. I hope I pronounced that correctly. His favorite letter is X. Good thing, as he's literally written the X-Men. And apparently, he's part of the conspiracy theory that believes hot dogs are sandwiches. It's too bad about that.
100% true. It's meat and bread. It is a sandwich.
I stand with science and the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, who say
What?
otherwise.
Well, I've never heard this, and I will fight you because a hot dog is a sandwich. I fight dirty. I'm from a trailer park in Texas.
It is not, there's no such thing as a sandwich eating contest, as the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council so correctly points out. It's a hot dog contest. Anyway,
in the diagram, a hot dog falls under the sandwich umbrella, but it is a hot dog.
It's been good seeing you, Rex. Goodbye. No, I'm joking. All right, so for some of our folks, some of our folks, unfortunately, have not seen Peacemaker or have read the comics yet. So can you give an overview of both Peacemaker and Eagle for our listeners who haven't?
Yeah, essentially, Peacemaker is a guy named Chris Smith. He grew up very abused in a trailer park. Obviously, that's why I love the character, but it's because his dad was very racist. In the show, his dad was in the Ku Klux Klan, like super, super racist. Chris believes in peace at any means necessary, and he doesn't care how many people he has to kill or how many dicks he has to suck to bring peace. That is a quote from the Suicide Squad movie. So I'm allowed to say that. That's not my quote. That is a quote from the movie with John Cena. If John Cena can say it, I can say it. But I did lean into his open sexual nature in the comic book. There is a queer flight attendant who may or may not sniff his underwear at one point. It's the final battle.
Not his own.
Yeah. No, Peacemaker throws him his underwear while he's getting naked to fight the bad guys, and as one does.
Yeah, obviously. And then Eagle.
Yes, Eagle is his sidekick. Eagle is an actual eagle. It is not super powered. It is not super intelligent. Well, it's an intelligent bird. He's Chris's best friend.
Okay.
So
good.
Yeah.
So I don't think, it wouldn't be spoilers to kind of catch people up to where the story's been, because it's a mini series coming in there. So can you kind of give folks like the previously on?
Yeah. So essentially, this was going to be part of the DC, and then it was outside the DC, like the canon, and now it's considered Peacemaker season 1.5. So technically, it's like a little story that takes place in between season 1 and season 2, which is on right now. And yeah, basically after saving the world, Chris, aka Peacemaker, is like, I need a vacation, and Eagle basically suggests Alaska, but on the way, their plane is intercepted by a group of assassins that are trying to kill him and everyone else on board the plane. And believing in peace at any means necessary, he protects the people as best he can, and ends up in a fight with an assassin at the end of the book who's in a jockstrap. So you should check it out, because here's the thing. James Gunn let me have fun, and this is so different from what I write as kids' books.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have a good time, and I did have a good time.
So so this takes place between both seasons. Okay, so it's not like this could end up on the screen.
No.
Plans for a second?
Fingers crossed. You never know when these things happen. They kind of just pop up.
Well, a lot of the stuff that you're sharing there, I'm sure we've got a lot of people that just went and pre-ordered their copies.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is, and here's the thing, I don't think a lot of people know about it, but I'm like, oh, the gay community would love to see this, because John Cena and his tidy whities on screen, it made me so happy, and I'm like, James Gunn, you know how to make your customers happy. Thank you for that. Also, I met John Cena at a book event because he did a picture book for kids a few years back. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Wait. John Cena did a picture book?
Yes. And he wrote it himself. He didn't even have a ghostwriter, which makes me love him even more because so many celebrities are like, yeah, I'll just hire someone to write a book for me so I can make some money. No, he wrote it and it's super cute. And he's so nice and he's so giant. Oh my gosh. I'm like a little chihuahua around him.
What was it about?
I think it was a truck. I don't remember the book, but I remember exactly how he looked in his suit, which was
Wow.
basically spandex.
Wow.
I mean, you show every muscle. Oh, it was yes, it was about a monster truck, and the name of the book is Elbow Grease.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
So, do you have any events tied to the I mean, yeah, it's book signing. Do you have any book signings, or I guess there isn't ratings of
No,
a
not
comic
not
book?
this comic book. I don't think it made a big enough splash, but like next month I'm going to the Texas Book Festival and the National Council of Teachers of English annual conference, as well as some other library show. And it's great because librarians and teachers are fighting the good fight against banned books. Like I've in the last week, I've gotten 3 different emails from teachers being like, I'm going to get fired for teaching your books. If you could write a letter to help me keep my job. And I'm like, please do not get fired over defending books. Do not do it. And they're like, but this is my job to get important stories into the hands of those kids who need them. And it's just a scary time.
The upcoming book is Peacemaker Presents the Vigilante Eagle double feature. It drops November 11th. We've got links in our show notes and on our website for you to get your own copy. For the other 100 books, you can head to rexogle.com. That's rexogle.com. Rex, it's always good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. Anytime.
All right, folks, have a great weekend. Be sure to tune in tomorrow from 2 to 6 p.m. for all of AM 950's LGBTQ shows, and then on WCPT out Chicago at 11 a.m. on Sunday till 1 p.m. with your best friends, Scott and Ellen. Until Monday, keep it queer, America.